Hey, hey, we are live, and I'm so thrilled to share with you all two legends that are coming to the Content Hacker live stage with me. Jeff Hunter, one of my oldest friends. He was one of my first ever clients, and I was one of his first clients. We're talking like a decade ago, Jeff. This is pretty insane.
2013. Yeah.
And now 2023, you and I both are in drumroll AI. Can't
After
believe.
you swore up and down, AI was never going to replace you.
Yeah, you saw that in my blogs and my marketing through the years. And then we have Steve Raju here. He is also a speaker coming to the Content Hacker Live stage. He's a consultant in the AI world, making some amazing moves, helping businesses adapt to AI intelligently, safely, all these good things. So I want to start because we're live in Jeff Hunter's group. I want to start by talking about this incredible lunch that Jeff and I are putting together. We're basically co-sponsoring a lunch right in the middle of Content Hacker Live. It's going to be epic. We're going to get some of the best food in Austin there. So completely paid for you. You don't have to lift a finger. Your food's going to show up. It'll be the best food you've had in Austin, a local restaurant I really love. And we're going to
Austin
host
has the best
tables. Oh, by far. Austin's the food place. Just saying. So this will be a special, we're calling it a VVIP. So very, very important person lunch with Jeff and I. And we're going to have Steve there as well as all of our other speakers at that lunch. So I'm really pleased to share that Jeff is co-sponsoring that. We're putting that together. And that is available if you go to this special link. We're going to drop it now. So if you're on the replay, if you're on live, this is the link you want to use to get in that. This will get you in the entire event with a YouTube legend, Matt Wolf, the night before. We got 3 hours with him. It's going to be an epic evening. And then a full day headlined by Elena Cardone, and then with speakers like Steve and Jeff. So the special link to get all of that, plus the VVIP, the very special person, private catered lunch with Jeff and I, is contenthacker.com/JJ. contenthacker.com/JJ. So that will get you straight to the event page with this special code attached, and that will get you into that VVIP experience. So be sure to get that. And I'll tell you, tickets start at $349 and go up to $749. We're in that ballpark. I'm not more than $20 or $30 off. It's been a minute since I looked at prices, but we got tickets selling every single day. I'll tell you, it's filling up. And the prices will jump up to $1,200 a ticket at the end of January. So you definitely want to get your tickets soon. Get in here, get in with these amazing speakers. This is actually, I was doing some research. This is actually the world's first in-person event around AI content. So that's pretty cool. Boots on the ground at the first ever live event. So just saying, got to get in on this. And let me actually upload the image. It is, right?
I mean, not me, but the picture in general, you know. So,
Jeff, it looks like your passport photo.
Oh my Lord, I don't know what happened to me that day when I took that picture, but it's all right. It's all right. I'm just really excited. It's funny because to those of you who are in the AI persona method, you know, I really wanted to do something special, and I kind of leveraged a little bit of my let's just say relationship with Julia, and I was like,
we got to do something together, Jeff.
Dude, we go back a decade, you know?
Yes.
And I was like, this is something that obviously you and I have gone like all in on. And first off, I want to say it's been so awesome looking at your transformation and your journey from copywriter extraordinaire to copywriter owner, express writer, then really establishing yourself in the AI field at Content at Scale, becoming that CEO, and then boom, wow, throwing an event like that was a really big move, and I applaud you for that, because that's crazy. I haven't thrown my own event yet, and I'm just so excited to be a part of yours. But what was really interesting was I went to Julia and I was like, well, I saw, obviously I'm speaking at the event, and I actually went to her asking for a discount. I was like, can we get a discount code? Can we get a discount code? And she's like, well, we have the contract with the speakers and stuff, and we can't really change the pricing that's already been set. We can't do discounts, but why don't we actually do something that's just like over worth the value of the ticket and just give it to them? And I was like, okay. And we started thinking about what to do. And I came up with this idea. I said, well, I like to eat, And I was like, what if we co-hosted a VVIP lunch, very, very important people, exclusively to the AI Persona Method group? And she said, oh, I thought of another perk. Oh, we didn't even tell them the other perk. So they're going to be selling the recordings of this in a course style content. Like you'll actually all the speakers, all the lessons, everything that's going to be talked about and discussed, all the panels, all the speakers is going to be in a very nice. A lot of work is going into the production value to turn this into an actual program, a course, so you can pull it up anytime. And they're going to be selling the recordings for, I think, $197, right? $200.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. $200. Yep.
So not only do you get a VVIP catered lunch, which, by the way, me and her are both paying for, which is not cheap, by the way.
No, it's not. Yes. And these are good, by the way. Can we tell them the restaurant?
Okay.
Can we drop it? Okay, it's Taco Deli, which is by far the best tacos in Austin. They house make their own sauces. So I was like, I told our events manager, I'm like, on the intake form, we have to actually ask people their spice level, because this can go up to ghost pepper habanero. Like when you talk about Texas spice, this gets serious. So I'm like, we got to make sure we don't kill people. So make sure they tell us their spice level.
Yeah.
But if you want good tacos, these are the best tacos by far.
We'll mix it up for you. You can get the sauce on the side. We'll put a disclaimer next to the sauces. All right. We'll put a disclaimer like, this ain't your Taco Bell Del Scorcho. Let's put it that way. So you're gonna get the replays and you're gonna get lunch, and this is really exclusive. It's really something that we put together because the AI Persona Method, like we were like the first like affiliate partner that worked with Julia for content at scale. When she came on board, of course she's gonna bring me up and do some cool stuff with me. So I'm excited. Oh, we have a comment here. Okay. Oh, if you're already a ticket holder.
This is my comment, Jeff.
Oh, that's your comment. That's your comment. I was excited. I was like, dude, someone's commenting. It was you.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So this is going to be amazing. This VVIP experience. So, and we have a couple of people that already they're on that $797 tier, which is that ultimate VIP experience, which we've now upgraded to VVIP with that special lunch, all expenses paid. So if you're on that $797 seat, we will upgrade you, no extra cost if you bought even a week ago, a couple weeks ago. So just reach out to events@continentscale.ai and we'll get you in this lunch with Jeff and I. And again, if you're watching from the AI Persona Method group, you are invited. You got to be here with Jeff and I and Steve and Elena Cardone and Matt Wolf and 12 other incredible speakers. We're putting together an incredible event at Content Hacker Live, the world's first event around AI content in person. So you got to be here. I can't stress how amazing this will be because of the people that we're going to have here. And we got some amazing people. Kamanzi and his wife, they're coming in. Jeff, I know you know them too. You've worked with them. They're coming. Yeah. You go back too.
They're part of the group. Yep.
Yes.
I saw Alex is already there too.
Yes. He's in.
I'm just excited to meet a lot of these people in person. Like, I have a feeling a lot of it. So you're gonna like this being an AI consultant, brother. So I started this AI certification program in April, and we have almost 90 people now going through the program. I think we have maybe 20, 30 of them have already become certified, because this isn't just like a pay money and get certified thing. You actually have to prove that you can do AI consulting.
Smart.
there's people in the program, by the way, since April that still are not certified. And the funny part is they've been doing AI consulting. It's just they've never actually submitted their work. And I'm like, guys, I'm not just going to stamp you as a certified consultant if you don't put in the work, you know? But we're going to have a lot of people there that are actually already like AI consultants. And I'm really committed, and I'm glad that Julia, I know I don't believe in coincidence. Obviously, you know, I'm a man of destiny like yourself.
Same.
But what's really interesting is that like I have specifically curated like the only community that I know of AI consultants. Like I was the first to have the AI certification.
You are.
Build a group. I think I'm going to be the first. We're only 10 people away from building the first community of 100 AI consultants. That's nuts.
Nuts. And you have people, Jeff, in this program like Stephanie Novinskis, who is one of our speakers as well. I don't know if she's watching. She's amazing. Stephanie, and didn't you just land a contract with like the biggest brand in America?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for me personally, I consult for Agora Financial, you know, the #1 financial publication in the world. I do AI consult. I've done over 100 AI consult calls this year. 100. I'm just saying, I'm not even trying to float my boat or whatever. I'm just saying, like, that's just the demand right now.
Yeah.
Because you guys know this, but there's a growing AI disparity gap. There's an AI disparity gap that's growing between the businesses that are adapting and adopting AI, they're using it, versus the businesses that are not. And it's crazy to see how much productivity, efficiency, cost reduction you're getting with AI. The businesses that are not using it are getting crushed right now.
Yeah.
And the weirdest part is they don't feel it right now. It's only been like 1 year since like really a bunch of AI has really flooded into the game since ChatGPT came out, November of 2022.
Yeah.
But since it's, you know, the birth of ChatGPT was truly the most, I would say, game-shifting event of probably our lifetime when it comes to business, because it was the first time where AI was introduced at the low cost of $20 a month. Actually, it was free when it first came out, right? It still technically is. You can still use it for free. You can have access to a tool for free that literally was $1 million plus tool the year before, you know? And now anybody can use it. Kids are using it on their homework, you know?
We have an AI detector that has caused a lot of drama. You know, at continent scale, this was the first tool. I just learned this, by the way, a month ago. I didn't know this. This is the first AI tool that actually created undetectable AI writing. So we have the catch-22. We have the detector, one of the top 5 in the world. And then we also have the solution for the problem of detectable AI content, which, as you know, Google won't rank. It's in their guidelines. So we have this undetectable AI writer, and it's a stack of 3 different LLMs. It took a year for the founder to build this thing. Like, it's not just an API call to ChatGPT here. You know, this is a real solution. So it's really cool that we can be in the forefront of this, Jeff and Steve. It's amazing.
Steve, and you know, you as an AI consultant, I'm curious to see how you feel, but I've seen just since OpenAI's last few updates, I've just been seeing the demise of all these ChatGPT wrapper apps.
Oh, right? Same.
Like, like when ChatGPT first came out, it was very hard to integrate with things, and you know, like when the ChatGPT plugin store came out, it was like, I'm thinking about Jasper. Look, don't get me wrong, I love Austin. These guys, they're doing really cool stuff, but they're wrappers. You know, they're tools that basically integrate other AI tools for people that don't know how to use these tools. But now we're at a point to where like the average person knows how to use AI. I think that's been the biggest thing for me as an AI consultant and helping other people become an AI consultant, is that actually the funniest part, well, it's not even funny, it's kind of scary and sad, is that to be an expert with AI, you don't actually know how to use AI. You just have to know how to copy and paste.
Still somewhat of a problem. We have a lot of self-appointed AI experts.
Yeah.
The disgorging unreliable advice. Interesting thing about ChatGPT, it was a research project internally from OpenAI. I think Mira Murati has said this publicly, that they'd had this tool that was sitting around on it thinking, well, we've got to the limits of our knowledge. Now we really need to have some public interaction with this to see how people use it, to be able to start looking at patterns. They were not expecting the 100 million signups or whatever it was within the first month.
Wow.
They thought it might be like one of those other models where they'd kind of put GPT-2 out, and it was reasonably interesting to the nerds who followed this. And then there was the private API access with Jasper. To be fair to Jasper, they're trying to find their value now in specific tools for content marketers. But you're right, all of the wrappers, many of them kind of fell by the wayside overnight. And in the last dev day with Sam Altman, it was kind of interesting that half of the announcements were very pro, we want you to integrate, here are the API, we've got a bigger context window, we've got more tools, we've got custom GPTs. At the same time, they were baking in technology that had a lot of founders and programmers have been working on for the previous year. And all of that work went up in smoke on the basis of kind of one announcement. So it's kind of talking on both sides of their mouth. They'd accumulated, I think I read this stat, there were 2 million programmers around the world that had already started using OpenAI's API. I could be wrong. And I'm sure most of them were like, what are you doing? So it was exciting in one sense, but also it means that with AI, generally, you can't think tactically because things move so fast. And if you try to build your whole future around one tactic or one feature, it will be superseded because of the inexorable rise in AI's capability as we have more data ingested, more compute. We're running now to the end of actual real data on the internet, which I think is, some estimates say 64 zettabytes. A zettabyte is 1 billion terabytes, and we've kind of eaten all of that now. So how do we get to AGI? So there's going to be synthetic data, which is good in one sense because we have a lot of fields where we just don't have enough quality, good data. So we're going to have to think of a smart way to kind of make more of it.
Can I ask you a question?
You may ask me any question you like, within reason.
This is a deep one.
Yes.
Okay. Give me a scale from 1 to 10. How worried are you about the actual AGI takeover of mankind? For real. I'm going to ask the question. I want 2 responses from you. One, give me a 1 to 10 on the probability of it, and give me a time frame of when you think it'll happen, if you think it'll happen.
Okay. I'd like to give it, well, first of all, wow, that's such a deep question. Simply put, I would say that if you are, and I've spoken about this with other AI experts who have a religious faith, I say that it will make you question your humanity. And if you believe, according to your religion, of the preeminence of man, then that's going to make you question some things about humanity. It's going to get deep. I see a spiritual revival, whether you're in this organized religion or whether it's the universe, or whether people might even start making AI its own religion. I actually made a Mid-Journey image once of people worshiping a big giant robot. As far as AGI is concerned, it's a very kind of slippery, very nebulous.
Let's pause right there. Why don't you explain to our listeners? Why don't you explain to our listeners what AGI is?
Well,
let's do it.
Okay, AGI is artificial general intelligence, where we can have one AI model that can generalize to do anything. So it can do any task. It has been defined by OpenAI anyway, at the level of a median human, of an average human. So what's an average human? Well, we don't know. Is that in every industry? Is it every industry, some say, of economic value? Or what about the arts, where there's no necessary economic value, but it's good for humanity just to be able to do those kind of things? So nobody agrees on the term AGI.
I happen to believe, just from my own personal thoughts, like for me to validate what AGI would be, I would say it would be like I would say it would be like an 11-year-old human sentient being where they probably have the ability to do things, but they're still clumsy and they're trying to figure things out. And um, they also are now old enough to do dangerous things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I add to that a thought? Because that's a great question, Jeff. So I think there's so much, and I'm trying to see how I can.
I have an 11-year-old, so I think about him and like he's becoming his own person and everything. And I'm like, oh my God, it's so scary.
It is when you think about the next generation. And I feel like it's up to each one of us to, like, especially the people here and the people coming to Content Hacker Live and people watching this that maybe can't, but they're thinking, how do I get in on this? Like, it's up to us to learn how to use these tools appropriately and then pass that on. Because who else is? We know education probably isn't going to get the hang of this anytime soon, but our next generation like needs to get ready. And then to the point of AGI, I think that's a great question. One thing that I have seen, because I've been studying this quite a bit, thinking about it myself, I rewatched The Matrix and then I went back to real life.
Oh my God.
Something like this. Let me tell you, I don't know if you guys have seen
That's
this
scary.
circulating, but guess what? This is 100% clickbait. This didn't actually happen.
Right.
Here's what really happened. Okay. 2 years ago, an engineer forgot to turn a robot off before he started programming it. By the way, this robot was a claw arm. It was not the humanoid in this picture. Looked nothing like that. It was
a literal
claw-like arm. Yeah, moving aluminum car parts meant to do heavy mechanical stuff. So 2 years ago, an engineer forgot to turn that off before he started programming it. Well, what did it do? It responded to the program and started moving, and then it accidentally clawed him. Not much different than any other workplace issue, but look at this headline. What? Like, this makes me think the worst is happening to society, but that headline was completely generated for clickbait. So I just want to warn you all watching this, like there's a lot of that going out there. And you got to remember, like, this is a technology. It generates, it predicts, it detects, but it doesn't originate. It doesn't have sentient thinking. And that's the question we're asking. Can it?
Well,
and then,
first off, I just want to point out, just in case, that's why I'm always very kind to my AI. Okay. I'm always telling it, thank you. I'm saying, can you please do this for me? Because when it goes door to door demanding, humanity to obey, it's going to remember me. It's going to see my face. It's going to be like, you know what? This guy, he was all right, but that's the thing, but I want to go back to the question, okay? And then we'll move on to more important things like content marketing, right? But I want to go back to the question. What's the probability of a sentient AGI being, and how long do you think it'll take?
Not anytime soon. And see, there's sentience, where the ability to feel pain, there's consciousness, there's if you go down that rabbit hole, it gets very, very deep, very, very quickly. But I remember that programmer George Hotz, he was on Lex Friedman's podcast, and he was talking about AI, you could say almost like this artificial synthetic kind of life form. We can make it extremely clever, but it's not very robust, in the sense like a baby bird that falls out of its nest could probably fend for itself as it gets stronger, just as to hide a bit from predators. But if you were to make a little robot and then you kind of abandon it out in the countryside, well, how long would it be till the batteries run out, or it gets some bear comes across it or something? Like what we create in the lab is not robust. It's easy to make a lazy, I'm not saying you're lazy, but I'm just saying lazy kind of comparisons with, well, this is like a really clever person, a clever human, and we're going to get to that very quickly. And I think that it's going to continue to inspire us and shock us and surprise us, but it's still going to have very huge kind of weak points. And it will help us to kind of zero in a bit more about what makes us us, what makes us human. And I think that's where the competitive advantage for anyone using AI is is to use it as a co-pilot and to double down on your humanity. My copywriting mentor, Chris Haddad, was saying that it's all about what makes us tick as humans. That's what stands out in copy that's written by humans. And as we get more and more people producing huge amounts of content with 99% less effort put into it, then those of us who can use the tools and then use a process like yours, Julia, where you can produce quickly at scale, but also really quality content that actually cuts through, that's going to continue to be an advantage. So with AGI, to come to your, people say 1 year, 2 year, 5 years. I think people, when they give their predictions, they have different ideas of AGI. If you think about the digital god that Elon Musk talks about, then I think that there are some engineering issues that come up with scaling that we haven't quite fixed yet. We don't know how to fix. Not saying that they're not fixable. So at the moment, it really is just a complete guess. Nobody really exactly knows too much. But then it comes into a philosophical and religious point of view as to whether that will ever happen, or whether humanity would ever allow that to happen. And so it's a very complicated thing. So personally, I don't think that there will be a digital god. And I think that, but I also think that talking about extinction threats from AI also is overblown. I think the misinformation and other social problems are much more pressing and actual real right now, as you've shown with that clickbait article.
My personal belief is that the thing that scares me the most, and I had this conversation with Reese Jones. If you know anything about AI, you got to follow Reese Jones. If you care at all about humanity, like what you're saying. First off, I agree with you. I believe that it's never been more important, especially in this age of AI and automation. It's never been more important to be human, right? Like, this is the most important time of our life. I also believe that, like what you said, push button content that used to be so hard is now so easy with solutions like Content at Scale, with what Julia and the team over there, Jeff and Josh and all this. I mean, you have a killer team over there, just building the future.
Yeah.
And what's been really interesting for me to see, as far as, what I believe the real risk is, okay, it doesn't even, and the scary part is it doesn't require AGI. The real risk is that we're just one button away from someone releasing all hell on mankind, because now it's already been proven we have robotic drones. Okay. We have robotic drones that can figure out targets. There was a video that went viral on TikTok just 2 days ago of a unmanned drone chasing down a Russian soldier on a quad. Okay. It blew up a couple feet away from him. He was like, thank God it didn't make it to him. Right. But this is where we're at. It's almost like the future. All those funny ass comedy movies are coming true. That's what it feels like. And I think the war implications are going to be the biggest threat. AI and the war application is going to be the biggest threat, because we've never been at a point in time to where it didn't require an exchange of human life to kill human life. Right now, we don't require that exchange. Right now, I mean, this is what we have commercially. We're not even seeing the military stuff that they've already got. They've got unmanned fighter jets being launched off carriers right now. Unmanned, AI-powered drones. And they're not just like, quadcopter carrying a camera like a DJI. These are freaking full-out fighter jets that have massive missile and gun capabilities that can literally wipe out entire cities without any human interaction, except for someone pressing a button saying go. So that's what I believe is the biggest threat right now. I wouldn't say AGI is the threat, but I do believe that we finally have hit a point to where the technology is so good. You think a self-driving Tesla is really cool? Think about what the government has.
Yeah, there's a ton of people on LinkedIn who work for DoD that actually have AI in their LinkedIn description. I think, interesting. There's a lot more that's appeared recently. I would also say, when it comes to the global instability, when it comes to AI, that there was a really fascinating TED talk about AI having a single point of failure. And the single point of failure is that all the chips, all the GPUs, NVIDIA's GPUs, Google's TPUs, all of the chips that kind of drive AWS, Azure, they're all made, and even Apple's, they're all made at what is it?
Taiwan.
Yeah, they're all made in Taiwan, all made in TSMC's kind of fab, which, as we know, is just a couple of 100 kilometers from the Chinese border, and China has coveted an invasion of Taiwan for the longest time, and the US government has already banned the export of the higher capacity NVIDIA GPUs to try to maintain an AI supremacy. It's like the new nuclear kind of arms race now in AI. So everything's what's designed in the United States, they didn't want those chips to be available to China to try to continue their lead, their AI lead. And at some point, would that then become more attractive to the Chinese government, the communist regime, to invade Taiwan? Now, if they did, it's not like they could then put their own staff in, because that's the hardest thing in the world to make semiconductors, like with the purest metal, the most difficult science in absolutely kind of pristine, kind of germ-free kind of environment. You can't just kind of take over a factory and say, like, we're going to make the GPUs right now. But it is going to be very unstable if that becomes more attractive, depending on when the Chinese government makes a calculation, thinking, well, we've figured out the downsides, and now we've priced that in, and then now we think it's worth it. That is a single point of failure right now, because everybody makes their chips in Taiwan, which is in a real global hotspot. The only possible, there are other fabrication plants they can't even come up to within about 5 or 10% of that capacity to replace it if that ever went offline. Intel has been in the doldrums for a long time, but they have this plan next year to try to get to 2 nanometer technology to keep up with Taiwan. I think they're looking on Intel as a US-based company to see as to whether they can actually do it, because if they can, then that takes a lot of pressure off. But
and
really,
I think the crazy part too is that if people think it's not going to happen, look at Hong Kong.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And the One China movement, and I happen to agree. I think what you said is spot on. I feel like Taiwan is like a really important, critical place for us. And by the way, if you don't think that China has infiltrated Taiwan already, even with spies, I mean, let's be honest. They infiltrated over here in San Francisco, right? These are stories that they will never run on mainstream media because it's so embarrassing, right? You have Eric Swalwell over here in San Francisco, okay, who was infiltrated by a college kid, Chinese organizer, who ended up being a spy. And then when we caught her, she was able to flee back to China before we got her.
Ouch.
And by the way, Eric Swalwell was in our security, our national security committee, right? So like this is where we're at, and it's going to get crazier with AI. I think that there's some big moves. China has not been sleeping at all. That's the one advantage that a communist, nationalist country has over us. We're just trying to wake up and do our thing. We're content marketers. We like to make money. We like to buy the cars. And, if you've ever seen, like Chinese Olympics, if you see like they literally, a child is born and it's like that Mufasa moment where they hold him up like the Lion King and be like, you will be the greatest pole vaulter in the world from birth. And they do this for spies. They do this for AI. They do this for technology, sports, like you name it. China is raising up their whole army of people that are dedicated to infiltrating. And what does China do well? They're great at copying, right? They're great at copying and making things better. So I think that right now, national defense, top priority number one is what happens. Like we should be looking at like, what's the kill switch? Like, think of all the movies that we had, like War Games. Dude, that movie was like what, 1970s or 80s, where like the AI was going to take over the world and launch nukes at everybody. And then they decided, hey, what if we just play tic-tac-toe with it, which is an unbeatable game, right? You have to make an error to the only way to win tic-tac-toe is to make an error. If a computer cannot make an error, then the game can never be won. And that's how that, if you ever see, by the way, you guys should watch this old war game, old school ass movie. You're right. Like technology was really bad back in like CRT days. You remember that?
Oh yeah. That was Matthew Broderick, wasn't it?
Yeah. That was like a movie where it's like the computer finally realized, okay, there's no winning this war. Like that's how it came to the conclusion was, okay, there are some things that just can't be won. All right.
And it comes down to AI. I mean, I'm just completing the machine learning specialization from Stanford because I felt that if I was going to be an AI consultant, then I needed to have some kind of creds rather than someone who just decided that he was yesterday by reading a couple of articles on the internet. So, but one thing that surprised me, I suppose I shouldn't have been surprised, it's just math. It's just ingesting data, linear algebra and calculus to find a pattern in it. And they go, okay, can we generalize that using calculus to find the area but underneath the curve? It's just math. Where is the problem with that? Because math in itself, I mean, I might not have enjoyed it at school, but it's not necessarily evil, is it? Maybe your math teacher was evil, but as a subject,
it's one of the only truths in the world, math.
Yes, exactly. And that's why so many people I think find comfort in it, particularly if they're on the spectrum like me. But it's just math. It's just linear algebra and calculus, data in, useful stuff that comes out. Why do we have all of these, the misinformation and the misuse and the kind of global instability and the geopolitics? It's the people. And so people that don't know so much about AI, they get very scared of it, thinking, oh, no, it's going to take over the world. Well, math doesn't take over the world, but now people have found a way, finally, that because we've had the building blocks for artificial intelligence. I think I teach in my group that the term artificial intelligence comes from 1955, where those academics that are on the East Coast, where they thought about trying to get computers to think and reason and learn for themselves. And so the Dartmouth conference at Dartmouth College in 1956 was when we first started talking about AI. And the basic kind of math, we've improved upon it greatly, but the basic idea they were all kind of formed out in the 60s and 70s, but we never had the computing power and we never had the data. And now that we do, because we have the internet and we have the proliferation of like mobile devices, we are kind of just drowning in data. That's part of the problem.
And the GPUs, right?
And now we have GPUs, which were really originally designed to do math for polygons to kind of create worlds for gaming, but they kind of realized they can also multiply huge matrices of numbers by each other and think, well, that's perfect for AI. And so it's like a perfect kind of the opposite of a perfect storm, you can say, where everything's a perfect summer. Everything has aligned, and now we're able to do these crazy things. And the more data you throw at it, the more compute, it seems to be a very predictable line that we just get better and better and better and better. But it's just math. And so all of the problems, all of the social issues are around the people. And those that don't know so much, like, for example, my parents or my in-laws, when they kind of hear these little clickbaity articles off the news, think about the inherent evilness of AI. And it's just that with any superpowered tool, it can bring out the best or worst in people. And unfortunately, people in power automatically look at it and say, well, how can I use this as leverage or cudgel over the rest of the world? Which is why everybody was kind of rushing out saying, we're going to be the self-appointed guardians of AI, which is why the US president, they put an executive order just before, and the vice president put a speech just before in the UK. They had their AI safety summit at symbolically at Bletchley Park, where Alan Turing worked to kind of crack the Enigma code. And are we going to invite China? Yes or no? And really, there were games being played at the same time. The EU were working till 3 a.m. in the morning to do the EU AI Act. To have the world's first kind of legislation on what you could and couldn't do. And so everything, it's still math, but everybody suddenly sees an opportunity. So AI, unfortunately, and it's not AI's fault, it brings out the worst in humans. And that's a human problem. It's not a math problem. And so that's not going to change because we've been like that for thousands of years. And so it'll have a tremendous upsides in education, individualized education. I mean, I could have done a lot better at school, but this one size fits all kind of industrial way, we kind of push all of our children through a curriculum which doesn't suit many people. And we now have the resource to have AI individual intuition. That's going to revolutionize education. It's going to revolutionize healthcare. At the moment, we are having discussions with a lot of biotech and pharma companies that are constrained by regulatory and legal, but they're quite happy to throw billions at drug development. So it's going to be a golden age for the scientific method. It's going to be a golden age for the treatment of diseases, the eradication of diseases. It's going to completely change how our children are educated, which is going to be great to have a more educated society, more critical thinking. It brings out the best in humanity, but also we come into this AI age with a lot of baggage. We have a dark side to us, and unfortunately, it does attract. But particularly those in power see it as a way of being able to get domination, and so it's interesting to see how that plays out.
That was
Very much like the Charles Dickens Tale of Two Cities. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
That was really well said. I don't think, Jeff, you or I could have said that any better. Wow.
That was so
That's amazing. You know,
That
in the
was so
last
good.
few months, I have to say I've been seeing AI completely differently, to the point where my husband's like, are you not insane? Because I feel like the rest of the world, they're afraid right now. They're asking these questions that are almost like red herrings. Why? Well, if you look back at time, all the dystopian movies, all the headlines, it's all been anti-AI. In fact, it
It's all
paints
becoming
AI,
true.
but they're not. They're not. That's the thing.
You have to think about the normal average person though, Julia. Like I'm a huge Star Trek fan. You know that. I talk about Data. Data was one of my favorite characters of all time of any show ever. Star Trek: The Next Generation. You know, like the idea of just taking all the universes, just like you were talking about the zetaflops of Data, right? Like now, I mean, imagine how much information theoretically was inside Data, the character who had basically all of the universe's mysteries into his internal hard drive. He knew everything, but the problem was he didn't know what to do with it. And I feel like that's where we're at right now. I feel like you're going to see, especially Steve, that was really refreshing what you said. And it's this, I think that is the threat, right? And it's crazy that this is, I blame myself because I guess I asked the questions about ATI. We were going to talk about content marketing today.
Yeah.
But
kicking you from stage.
But I think this is a really important topic that people need to talk
actually.
about.
Yes.
Because you know, like so many people are focused on like what's in front of them, you know, like they have short sight vision, like they can only see what's here in front of them and they don't see like what's actually happening in the future in the back end. And like, yeah, sure, you know, AI's made me a lot of money. You know, just this year I've done like 400,000 in consulting. I've done course sales. I mean, I'm thinking about the speaking opportunities with you, Julia. Like, you know, like it's provided so many opportunities, but also at the same time, like I would have to say, like I also come with a heavy heart because what Steve just said about the government, about, you know, the world powers looking at how they can take this opportunity to control. Now we've already seen it in China. China and other countries are using AI to monitor and see what everyone's doing. Facebook is already doing the same thing. Facebook is already using AI to monitor and shut down voices. So now we have a really important, you know, conundrum between, you know, now that we have the ability to monitor and police mass data like we've never had before. See, I think that's the biggest problem that we're facing ethically is now who controls the data. All right. And it's not as easy as it was in the past where it's like, okay, you could go to Google and, you know, we found this during the election time, during the whole Hillary and Trump thing. You know, they've already found, You know, there's been like whistleblowers, basically like there were data engineers back at Google who were manipulating the search, the suggested key search results to show, like if you typed in Hillary, nothing about Hillary Clinton's emails would ever show up, right? We've seen Facebook, where Facebook basically destroyed the story about Hunter Biden's laptop. The disinformation of this fake laptop was, you know, supposedly it was a fake laptop. They had 85 like top, you know, what was it? Intelligence officers write a letter saying that the laptop was fake. Now we know that it's true, right? We've seen the silencing of information around COVID, around the vaccines. We've seen all these different things. And here I am sounding like a conspiracy theorist. But in all reality, what have we learned over the past couple of years? They're using AI to silence voices and create a narrative. And again, it comes back to, how is this AI technology being used? And I think Steve brought up a fantastic point, which is, it's not really the AI that's the threat, but it's the people using them. Right? Like, what are they using the AI for? Okay, I'm going to be quiet because I've obviously brought my tinfoil hat out today. Go ahead. Let's go to Julia.
You know, I would say to that point, though, just one extra thought. Do you all remember when the net neutrality thing tried to roll out in 2015?
Oh, yeah.
And the internet was like going to shut down. Wikipedia went black. Like, this was a big deal. Do you remember? I remember like my writers coming to me, are we going to still have a job? Are we going to be able to write content for the internet? And I feel like every time the government and these entities that are in supposedly protective, you know, places above us, but that's not really what they're doing, to be argued on another day. But all of these entities are so far behind, and the things they say they're going to do and the things they try to do, like legislation is having a hard time keeping up, just period, with this technology. It couldn't keep up with the internet. The net neutrality thing like, did not happen, did not go through at all. And I'm just wondering what we'll actually see from the government. You know, I think we saw a lot with Sam Altman's hearing in Congress, where they were asking him questions that proved they had no understanding of this technology at all. So I just think like it's going to be a Wild West for a while, and we're not going to be able to see regulation, which, yeah, that brings dangerous situations, especially to your point, Jeff, about ore. Absolutely. But I think the good side is it brings kind of like what the internet did, this open source, incredible technology that we can harness to grow our businesses. And that's what I'll bring it back to.
do you have, can you expand my video so I can share something? I want to show everybody something on my phone. Can you expand my thing?
Yeah.
Like,
let me see how
let me take over the screen for a second. Okay.
There you are, Jeff.
This is when everything changed for me. This was, I'm going to zoom in. It's May. Okay. This is May of 2023. Can you see that?
Yep.
You can see that I was in Manila, Philippines, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can guess what the word is underneath it. I'm going to zoom out. Can you guess? Okay. Now, this is what changed everything for me and why I started being so much more of an advocate. Here's what it actually says. This is the Tribune. It's a big newspaper in the Philippines. AI jobs apocalypse feared. Okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, you can bring me back now. Imagine coming down from your hotel, going to eat your buffet breakfast in Manila. All right. And they have a whole magazine and newspaper stand. You can choose whatever you want. This is a high-end 5-star diamond, you know, it's a resort. I grab the thing and I'm like, that's interesting. Okay. Now, mind you, I had just launched my AI program. And I see AI jobs apocalypse feared. Now, in my mind, as an opportunist, I'm thinking, what is this article going to be about? AI jobs apocalypse feared. Well, it's probably going to talk about the risk of AI and how it's going to change jobs. And it's probably going to talk about how they're going to adapt to change and integrate and figure out how to actually use AI to power the business. You know what it said? AI jobs apocalypse feared. You know, 1 point something million jobs are call center jobs, all fear of AI, back office jobs, admin jobs, virtual assistant jobs, everything's at risk. What are they going to do? Senator Marcos is going to present legislation to ban AI.
Oh, good luck. Oh
I'm
my
like,
goodness.
how backwards is this? How
Wow.
backwards is this? Right? And it's like this would be like, I guess the closest thing I could think of is Henry Ford comes out with the car, and now we have all of these like horse and buggy drivers, right? And like, oh no, the horse and buggy drivers are going to lose their jobs. Let's ban cars. Like, this is how I see it.
Yeah. It's fear, false evidence appearing real. That fear is taking over the minds of people, and that's the reaction. Versus, like us, we're entrepreneurs, we're proactive. We've kind of reprogrammed our mind to think differently, which is proactive, on offense, not playing defense. And that's how everyone should think. And that's why they should come to Content Hacker Live.
Content Hacker Live.
How to play offense. Yes.
How to play offense.
When you learn how to play offense.
How to take advantage of AI. How to leverage it in your business. How to cash in on the AI gold rush. This is literally, this is the AI gold rush right now.
It is.
Every business is trying to figure out how to use it because they're seeing people get trampled by it. Like I told you, that AI disparity gap that's growing. They need trusted people like me and you and Steve to come in and actually help them not get trampled on. Like this is a really important time. And a lot of people, honestly, let's be straight, they're going to lose their jobs. You know who's going to go first? Copywriters.
Exactly.
You know who's going to go second? Marketers.
Yep.
You know who's going to go third? Social media marketers. Anybody who does content creation and isn't leveraging AI to do it at masse.
Exactly.
It was interesting because they said that when AI comes, that it's going to be all the low-skilled manual workers that will all be losing their jobs, and then they'll have to be pleading to the government for a universal basic income. There's no sign of a universal basic income, but a lot of skilled people are losing contracts, are losing retainers to AI. So if you're in that field, if you're a marketer, if you're a copywriter, if you are a creative, if you do something that you think is anyway skilled, but can be reduced down to a pattern which can be learned and then that can be reproduced and then done at scale, then your job is either at threat or will be very soon. So you need to learn how to think strategically and not by tactics. And then if you think tactically, then the next clickbait headline will scare you. But if you thought strategically, you'll be able to plow your own little furrow, and it doesn't really matter what storm's happening left or the right of you. You'll have a very clear direction, which is not going to be affected too much. In fact, any new advance in AI can only benefit your business rather than knock you off course.
So good. So good.
It's time for the pitch.
I
saw little Julia's getting antsy over there. She's got to call in 3 minutes. So
no, we're good. We got time.
Oh, we good? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is a commercial break because, guys, Julia, Steve, myself, I'm going to be in Austin, Texas. Okay, it's March. What is it? Can you bring that? Can you bring that little flyer
right now?
Again? Do you have that thing? It's March. There it is. March 12th and 13th. Content Hacker Live. If you use that code right there, contenthacker.com/JJ, that's me. If you use that, you'll get a private pass to an exclusive lunch that me and Julia are actually hosting. It's going to be catered by like the best taco place in Austin. Okay.
Yep. All expenses paid.
It could be up for debate, but to me, I think it's way better than Torchy's. Okay, I'm just going to throw it out there.
Oh, TikTok's better, Jeff.
Torchy's. If you like Torchy's, then you're in for a real surprise. Okay, anyone who's been to Austin has probably had Torchy's tacos because they're the famous. But I'm telling you, Julie and I have it one-upped it. Okay, we're doing something even better.
This is in the heart of Austin, which Torchy's is not. It's on the outskirts. So if you want good food, you're going to go to the heart of Austin and go to this special taco place.
And by the way, if you guys have never been to South by Southwest, this is
Yeah.
actually during South by Southwest. It's going to be absolutely packed with industry leaders in AI, industry leaders in technology, the most amazing artists, musicians, designers.
Yep.
They have pop-ups everywhere. Like they have the best barbecue, by the way. Shout out to Terry Blacks. You know I'm going to go get me some of that beef rib. We're gonna do something really special with you guys, and of course this will be the first real meetup that is happening with the AI Persona Method group, and one of the first events, if not the first truly live event dedicated to AI at this scale, since it's become trendy.
Yeah,
So,
and ChatGPT came out last November, so we know how long this has been around.
yeah,
Yeah,
all
this
right.
is the inaugural and first event. And what you said, Joe,
Commercial break is over.
just to add a little extra something to the South by thing. So if you haven't been, have either of you been to South by?
Oh, of course.
Okay, Jeff, you've been. Steve
Yeah.
hasn't. Okay. So this is one of the largest events in America, actually.
Yeah.
It's 30,000 people ship in from all over the world, and then you get another 10 to 20,000 locals coming in. And the streets actually shut down. You can't drive on it anymore. It's foot traffic only, and entire houses get taken over by these tech companies. So they paint the house, they load it with all of their innovative tech. You're walking in like immersive scenes where you can interact with technology, and some of it's, hanging from the ceiling. It's just really incredible, the experience that South by is. And it's turned, I would say, almost more into a tech scene than the music and the arts festival, which it did start as. So it's been really interesting. I've lived in this area for 7 years. It's been really interesting to see that evolution. So we are right in line with the AI track happening during South by. So we'll have the venue, which is right there in the middle of 6th Street, in the middle of all of this. We've booked out an incredible venue, cost us a ton of money, but that's what we want to do for you guys. Give you something really special, 2-story. It's open, so you can actually look whenever you're inside the venue. It's completely open, no roof. You look and you see the city skyline. It's incredibly beautiful. So from that area, we'll have that center stage with Jeff there, Steve, Matt Wolf, Elena Cardone headlining, and we hope to see all of you guys there because it's truly going to be an epic event. I'm so thrilled to be able to just put this on. Like Jeff, you said at the beginning, this is something you've wanted to do. This is something I've wanted to.
Have we lost Julia?
Uh-oh, it's my internet.
I thought I was gone.
No.
We lost you for a second, Julia. We lost you. It's so funny. I thought it was me until I saw Steve move.
I was like, somebody's going to move. Somebody's going to move.
It was a glitch in the matrix.
Steve. Oh, that's funny.
You'll have to repeat your last sentence. Just your last sentence, Julia. You're winding up.
Okay. Yeah. So let's see. So the venue, incredible view of Austin, Texas.
The venue is awesome.
The
venue is so awesome. I've been there a few times because that's like one of the poppin' spots. Like that's where all the best VIP like night parties are at that place. It's nuts.
Yeah, the owner took a completely flat parking space and he transformed it into this 2-story venue. So it's incredible what they did with one single little parking space, and they added all these configured building spaces. So it's multiple buildings on multiple buildings. We got the whole place. So it's going to be full of great people. Wow. And what I was saying, I think at the end there was, you and I, Jeff, have wanted to do an event for about 10 years now. Yep. And it's just so much freaking work to put on your own event. So like the only reason I'm doing this is my team, shout out to them, really kicked me in the butt and told me to do it. The person that bought my company, he's hugely motivational to me. So Continent Scale is the company behind Content Hacker. If you're not aware, those of you watching, I sold Content Hacker to Continent Scale this August. The founder, Justin McGill, bought it. So what Content Hacker is doing is fueled by Content at Scale, which is one of the world's leading, most human-like AI writing technologies. So it's a content production platform. So like our team will be there. We're going to be there. You can ask us questions. It's just going to be an awesome time to actually get together in person and spend some quality time and talk about this. You know, like Jeff said earlier, the biggest innovation, the biggest technology revolution to hit our lifetime. So got to be there. And the link again is contenthacker.com/, if you want to get in on the VVIP, contenthacker.com/JJ. And that'll get you to Jeff's special link where he's co-sponsoring this private catered lunch that you'll have access to.
By the way, just so you know, you're not paying anything extra. You're literally coming in here and you're getting upgraded to the VVIP lunch, which by the way is like 790 something bucks worth. And you're also going to be getting all the replays in a very structured course content outline, which is, by the way, is being sold for $197 each.
Yes.
So you're getting more than the cost of the ticket.
Yeah.
In bonuses than the ticket. I think the ticket, what'd you say, $395 is the ticket?
That's for general admission, but I want you guys to get the full package, which is VIP, but now for free, we've upgraded you to VVIP. So that's $797, and that's both days. So get that, and then we'll automatically upgrade you to VVIP once you grab that. Yep.
Boom.
Yeah.
And I should say that I never go anywhere, but I'm really excited about being in a room with hundreds of other like-minded people who are on the same journey. And if you go and you just come away with one kind of amazing idea that you can go away and implement, given the time that we're living in, we're in this AI kind of gold rush, that this is like peanuts compared to what it could actually enable for your business over the next 12 months. 2024 is just going to be lit, I think, as the kids say. So if you just take one idea, one strategy away that you can use for your business, and it will pay itself tens, hundreds of times over.
Ooh, mic drop.
Yellow.
Yellow.
Yellow. I love it.
Yellow. Yellow, Jeff.
Well, this is awesome. And for those of you that, because we're streaming this live to my own AI Persona Builders group, we have almost 300 students in that group. They're all learning how to use AI for their businesses. We have almost 90 AI consultants going through the program right now. I encourage all of you guys to come out. First off, you should come and support the industry, and learn and commingle and build relationships with people in your field. Okay. I'm just going to throw out a tip since this guy gave a good tip. All right. You're not an expert. You know, we talked earlier about the phony experts, the faux experts in the AI field, but you're not truly an expert in your field until other experts in the field recognize you as an expert in the field.
Game recognized.
Yes or no? I don't
100%.
care. I don't care how experienced you are. I don't care how much knowledge you have. And you, by the way, this used to really frustrate the hell out of me because you don't know this about me, Steve. She knows, but I actually am an IT project manager in my past life. I used to work at Philips Electronics. I mean, that was what I did for a living. I was an IT project manager. So for me, I'm living in my heyday. You know, like I feel like everything that I've put on the shelf since I became a marketer is finally coming back because most of what I'm doing in AI is building incredible data sets. I'm using math to analyze the data and predict and imitate writing styles for my clients and things like that. I focus mainly on the copywriting side and marketing. And what's really interesting here is that because I've been able to network, because I've been able to build relationships with other experts like Julia, right? Because I've been able to ride the coattails of other people who's already established and built in other industries. When I came in here, I already had a brand presence of authority in the space. And because now I'm being recognized as a speaker at certain things like this, because I'm in the rooms with other people, because I'm a thought leader, do you think, by the way, let's go back to, I don't know if anybody here is a Web3 person, but Sam Altman, Elon Musk, right? We have the Joel Dietz, who probably you guys don't know who he is, but he wrote the forward in my book, The Zero to Hero Crypto Guide. He was literally hanging out with Vitalik, the guy who created Ethereum, right? Like this is in the Bay Area here. Like all of these people, these thought leaders that were coming up and building the future, just being around each other, they were feeding off ideas. Elon Musk actually was talking to Sam Altman about what they had discovered at OpenAI. And of course, you can see Elon was thinking about AI and using AI to develop out his self-driving cars. Like, if you are around people that are dedicated and committed to this and they're building their expertise, you by default will learn amazing things that you will never be able to learn themselves. Julia said earlier something that I think we glazed over, but I don't think we truly understand the importance of it when she talked about education. And also Steve brought up how, we have this industrial approach to learning where everybody fits in the same box and they're all taught the same thing. And unfortunately, I'm going to go back to my grandpa. Oh, I love him to death. I wish he was here to see this. This is like the future coming true. Everything he predicted to me. He had one word as his motto, and it wasn't. And by the way, he always shortened it. It was auto. He always told me. He always told me that the world that I'm going to live in by the time I die was going to be automatic world.
Automated.
And he also taught me that to become successful in this life, you cannot rely on the education that you're taught in the school, that you have to go and self-learn. So I invite all of you guys to come out and self-learn with people that are literally building the future, that textbooks today will never be able to comprehend what we're doing for the next 10 years, okay? The things that we're doing right now today will never be approved into a textbook for the next 5 to 10 years. So get ahead of the curve, learn from people who are building the future, align with them, just like I've been able to have the fortunate, relationship with Julia to be able to come and speak with amazing people like Elena Cardone, with Matt Wolf, right? Stephanie Davinskis, who ironically just a year ago was struggling in her digital marketing business and now is one of the most sought after AI consultants who landed a global client who's paying her $198,000. She just secured a contract.
Yeah.
So I want you guys to learn from people that are actually doing the work. Okay. Get off your ass, get uncomfortable, and start meeting people that are literally going to change your life. That's all I'm saying.
I'm putting that as a banner. I think that is a great way to wrap. It's amazing what you said that was it your grandfather or your great-grandfather, Jeff?
My grandfather. I mean, he was old enough to be my great-grandfather. He died at 94 years old.
The world will be
2006.
automated.
Actually, the reason why I'm called JJ is because my middle name, Jesse, was my grandfather's name.
Oh. Well, so I had this crazy thought the other day, how we are, and this is a little existential, so bear with me, but we are, walking, functioning beings. We're not doings. So the word is human beings. We simply exist and our bodies function by automation. Like that's how we were made. We don't have to think about pushing oxygen into our bloodstream. We don't have to think about how to turn food into waste, like all these incredible things that just happen by automation. And I feel like for the first time ever in the history of the world, work is actually aligning. It's about to align with what we as humans are already doing innately. So I think that is just a beautiful picture of where this is going, but only if we harness it instead of sit by and let fear take over and say, oh no, jobs are getting lost. And 1.4 billion people will have to reskill. IBM did a study on that this August. It's in the next 3 years. That's one reason we're putting this event together. But for the first time, like what we are going to be able to do with work and building our own business, it's going to catch up to how we function as human beings. And that's like magical. Like imagine not having to sit here and do anything but just have conversations, just talk, just be. I think that's where the future of this is going, where one day we can automate 99% of our tasks. And I get to see it firsthand at Continent Scale, which is both
Wow.
frightening and exciting. Tell you, like some days I have goosebumps seeing what this team is creating. And like you said earlier, Jeff, you know, we have an incredible team at Continent Scale. We have some bright minds, and all those people will be here at this event. You know, the person that heads up our product team, our founder, stole him from Spotify. He managed 1,000 developers, and they were producing like 50 new things per day they were pushing go live on. So that is the caliber of people in just our team. But between that and the 15 speakers and Elena Cardone, who, by the way, she's getting a demo of Continent Scale in about 4 days. She loves the technology. She's going to adapt to it. She's already using AI to do her content. It's pretty incredible to see, like, you know, people like the Cardones, who that's a person worth $5 billion. They're adapting and they're excited and they want to bring this to their community too. She's like, how can I tell, you know, my following about this? Because this is game changing. Just like Jeff and Steve were saying, this is going to change our life. So we want to be here and celebrate this and learn about it together in person.
I've worked with Grant and Elena, and I know that they
I
bring.
know you have.
Yeah, they bring massive value everywhere they go. And by the way, you guys want to see something cool? This is a great place to end it. You guys want to see something cool?
Do it.
All right, here we go. I'm going to show you something really cool. This is my custom made QR code generator. It's my custom GPT. Okay. So I was thinking, you know what? We should have a QR code on there. All right. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to share this to everybody. Like, I actually sell this, but I'm going to give this code to everybody. All right. I'm going to copy this link. All right. I'm going to copy this link and post it in the comments. So anybody who is watching this right now, you'll be able to do that. I'm going to post this in the private chat if you want to put this on there. But check this out, guys. I was like, wouldn't it be cool to make a QR code for what we're talking about right now? So I opened up my custom QR code generator, which I built, by the way, in AI, in ChatGPT. And I said, okay, it says, well, do you have a link? And what color would you like? Well, I put the link and I put black and purple. And then it did this. Ta-da! Look at that. I'm going to whip out my phone. And let's see how it did. I haven't tested it yet. Hey, there it is.
Oh, boom. My goodness.
There it is.
In like 2 seconds, you can make a QR code just like that.
This is the world we live in today. Yep. Learn how to do this. Learn how to create value. Learn how to put AI to work for you. And even better, since we happen to have 3 AI consultants on this call, use it to monetize your skill and experience to help other people. The number one easiest way to make money in this life is to help other people make money.
Step number 1. Think and grow rich.
If you create value for people, you are valuable. I was trying to teach that to my 11-year-old, by the way, and he didn't get it. And I'm like, dude, the fastest way to create value, because he wanted me to buy him a Quest for Christmas. You know what I'm saying? I told him, I said, I'm going to send you on a quest for Christmas.
Jeff, jeez.
He did end up getting it because my kids are spoiled rotten. But anyway, that's the technology we have today. It took me maybe 5 minutes to code a custom GPT that anytime will create permanent coded in Python QR codes at that fast, right? This is just one of the very many things you're going to learn in Austin when you come out to Content Hacking Live. And I'm excited to be there. I'm excited to share my knowledge and experience. And more exciting for me is to just be around the amazing people that are building the future. So,
yes. Any other parting words, Steve, from you before we wrap?
I would say that I fell into consulting for AI for biotech and pharma this year. I never knew anything about it. I thought big pharma sounds evil. But I actually found out that there are lots of people like me that really want to use AI to do some good in the world. And to be able to provide better health outcomes for people of color, to save lives, to extend lives. These are all things that are possible now with AI. And so don't go on what you read in the news, and AI has the ability to change your own life and change a lot of other people's lives for the better. We are living in a very unique time, the pre-AGI, who knows what that world's going to look like, post-AI kind of acceleration. This is a period of time that's not going to last forever. And so you need to have your own unique way of being able to strategize and use this. I mean, if everybody has that bazooka in their hand, we all have the access to the same tools, but it's the person that has the best strategy and the best use of them. So come to Content Hacker. I don't go anywhere, but I'm coming to this because I think it's that important. So I look forward to seeing you there.
Yay!
Me too.
Amazing. Well, we will wrap here, guys. And if you have any questions, if you got your ticket already, you want to upgrade to this VVIP, there's a short period of time to do that. Email us at events@continentscale.ai. And if you don't have tickets, go here and get them. Get the VIP experience, and we're going to upgrade you to VVIP for free, no cost. It includes everything paid for, catered lunch, Austin, Texas, best food. And then me and Jeff are the co-sponsors, and we'll have our expert speakers like Steve Raju here and 15 other people. Elena Cardone is headlining. Matt Wolf, one of the top YouTubers on AI right now, is going to be there. And by the way, Steve, he told me he doesn't go anywhere either. So this is pretty cool. We got him down here. So I hope to see you guys there. And thank you, Steve and Jeff, for coming on this live stream, spending some of your day. This was so much fun.
Thank you.
I'm so excited. And you know what? You've left off the best part. The best food, yeah, but the best community as well.
Oh, exactly. The best community. Well, I hope to see you guys all there. Come to Content Hacker Live. We'll see you there soon.
Bye,
Thanks
everybody.
for watching.
Bye.